What's up everybody, welcome back and thanks for coming to hang. So last week we checked out Cua Lo Beach, which is awesome but kind of saturated for our taste, so we decided to bust out the map and take a look at some other spots, where we found this cool formation of recurring mountains and beaches just to the north, which we'll get into a little later. Anyway, we managed to get our hands on some rental bikes. Shout out to these guys who, if you have a valid Vietnamese license or a friend with one, they'll deliver you a rental bike anywhere near any major city in the country. Super handy. So head north out of Cua Lo, which in and of itself is a nice drive. Blue skies, green fields, mountains, always pleasant. If you have a co-pilot, make sure that they have the map out or that you have a phone mounted with the map open, because it is not super well indicated where to go by the road signs. Not at all a recognized tourism spot. Yeah, hang a Yui. Ugh, it feels so right to say and so wrong to write. Do a U-turn is needed. And if anyone from Nghe is watching this, big shout out to you. Your land is genuinely beautiful. Anyway, keep on driving east and eventually you'll hit the ocean. It's pretty big, so it's hard to miss it. Once we've come over the hill and gotten visual confirmation that the Pacific is indeed where we left it, we decided to pull off at this leveled off future development spot to take in the views and get some glamour shots. We can't find any news on what this spot in particular will be turned into, but it overlooks this May Resort Lotus Sing nature. We came here a few years back before starting the channel, and it was under construction then, and it looks to still be under construction now, but maybe some of it's completed enough to at least kinda look like their website. Or their Facebook, rather, as their website doesn't work as of the time of editing this video, so maybe some beachfront real estate will be up for sale in the near future? Who knows? Anyway, it fronts onto Le Beach, which is gorgeous and still public access, so it's worthy of a stop if you want, but we've got a few more curves to make it around for our destination today. So, as we putt around all these corners, now is as good a time as any to explain how you wind up with a coastline like the one we have here. This is what is called a discordant coastline, where, quote, the geology alternates between strata of soft and hard rock. So, as sea currents move south along the coastline, it erodes the soft stretches of land, creating small bays. Once these bays got bigger, the water would start to form eddy currents within the bays, depositing the material on the leeward side of these mountains, forming these repeating beaches. Pretty neat. The other side of each bay is made up by these big boulders, which make for awesome spots to pull over for a picnic, as we can see all these people doing. Very scenic, also neat. Now this brings us just up to the minimum threshold that allows me to justify to myself that I'm making academically valid content, and not just making a video of a spoiled dog getting to go to the beach. So, last corner, here we are. If you come down from the north, this is what you'll come across first. Hai San Toi Song, a fresh seafood restaurant, and this place was awesome. Super friendly and welcoming staff, and it pains my heart to say this, but Fatty somehow lost the footage of the food. A tragedy. But it needs to be said that this place has the best ho nung, or grilled oysters, we've ever had. Would be worth the drive even if we never made it to the beach. But with that said, we did make it to the beach, so let's finally head on down and check it out. Now, there's one more thing that we should mention as we get some sand between our cheeks, and that is that if you'll pull this place up on a map, it has the words, the only words in English, free for locals. We weren't asked by anyone to pay anything, despite most of the team members not being locals, and there were a number of people working and keeping the beach clean who we assume have to get paid a wage by somebody, so just keep in mind that if you're foreign nationals, you might have to cough up a couple of dong. But if not, at least try and buy some very reasonably priced refreshments from the local vendors. Remember that if you show up in the middle of the day when the sun is at its most evil, you'll basically have the place all to yourself, but as the afternoon creeps on, so too will more people descend on the beach, which works fine for me, as I have a habit of being a pretty social dog. Finally, a quick few things before we let you go. Well, you can go whenever you want, I guess, I'm not your boss. But tucked just out of sight is this little town of Tien, a quite rural and very agrarian town. The kind of place where your Tianzu lick, or tourism money, can mean a lot. So if you're able, try and spend some money in the local economy of the village. And other than that, lick that like button, pause, subscribe, and come back for the next one. Later!